Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'll be taking a look at this jigsaw. I'll be showing you how to use it. I'll be showing you the different features that are included on this model and how to use those. I'll give you some safety tips on how to cut safer, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Let's get into it. Alright, so here's a jigsaw. I have a Black & Decker jigsaw. This has a variable speed trigger, which means the harder you press it, the faster and more power is provided to the motor. This also has curve control, which is dial here, which you will set for straight cuts or curvy cuts. There's 4 different settings there, depending on how straight, how curvy your cut is going to be. And then you have a lock up here to lock the trigger. So you push the trigger in all the way and push in that button, and it will lock it into place, so that way you don't fatigue your fingers holding it down if you're cutting for long periods of time. Now, let's talk about more of what this curve control does. So if you have a jigsaw with oscillation, there can be an oscillation mode where you can engage it, and what that does is, instead of normally a jigsaw will just go up and down with the blade, what oscillation does is it also pushes it forward and backward like this, a slight amount. So it's going up and down as well as doing this, and so it's kind of doing like this scooping motion. And what that does is allow your wood to get cut quicker, easier, and it removes the chips of wood from being clogged, which will then slow down your cutting. So what this curve control does is when it's set to straight, it's going to have maximum oscillation. When it's set to maximum curve, it's going to have no oscillation. The settings in between will just vary that a different amount for what you're cutting. It'll automatically kind of just set the oscillation to whatever mode you have it set. So if you're going to do straight cuts, slightly curved, or very curvy, or extra curvy, whatever you set it to, it'll set the oscillation to that particular mode. Now, to insert your blade, there is this lever here. Now, some will have a different method depending on your model. The older ones, you may need to get a screwdriver out. This is a fairly new jigsaw, so it has a quick insert, and you'll just pull the lever up, take your blade, and make sure you get the right blade. There are different types of blades. There's like a T handle, a U handle, there's all sorts of different types of blades, so make sure you know which one yours takes. Mine can take both a T and a U, and I have a U right here, you can see, or the U cut into the end of it. And what you do is you're going to insert this in there, and then release, and it's locked in. And then make sure that your blade is in between the 2 grooves with that little roller there as well. And now it's inserted, and you can make a cut. To remove it, pull it down, remove it. That simple. Now, this black thing down here is called a shoe, and that's your base for when you're cutting a piece of wood. And then you have a clear section here, so you can see your blade while it's cutting, so you can kind of gauge your cut there. If you look on the bottom, there is a screwdriver, or a screw bit in there, and if I take my screwdriver and loosen that, if you push it up, then you can rotate it, and there are, you can't probably see it, but there are numbers right there that give you a 45-degree cut, 22.5, 0 degree, and you can make a cut at an angle if you need to, and then once you have it set, then you push down on it, and then screw it back in. And that will allow you to get a angled cut if you're trying to make a project that needs an angled cut. Now, a lot of jigsaws will have something in the back like this, and this is a dust collection port, so you can hook up a vacuum dust collection tube in the back, and it'll suck up the dust. And so it's pretty straightforward. That's all there really is to this jigsaw. Again, features vary from jigsaw to jigsaw. This is a corded model, as you can see here. Alright, so a safety tip here is when you go to install your blade, make sure that this is unplugged. Mine is unplugged. That way you don't accidentally engage it while you're trying to insert your blade. Alright, now when you go to plug this in, make sure your lock is not engaged, or else it'll just start vibrating off the cable. And so I disengaged it. And then just keep this blade away from anything like your hands, and then just plug it in. Alright, mine's plugged in. And now when you're using a jigsaw, just be cautious of where you're pointing the blade. And if you get it on a surface, don't pull the trigger, because then it'll just want to skip out like that. Alright, so when you go to cut something, make sure you have it firmly placed against an object like this. And when you go to cut, it's going to want to jiggle all over the place like this. So you want to make sure you're pressing firmly down on your board, and make sure to hold it in a way to where it's comfortable and you feel like you have control. So you don't want to hold it like this, because that's not going to give you much control. Make sure you get a nice full grip on this and press down on it while you're cutting. Make sure you keep looking at your blade. Again, be cautious of where your hands are. I recommend you wear gloves, but definitely wear safety glasses when you're cutting something with your jigsaw. Hearing protection also is a thing I would recommend as well. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to, because I need to hear myself speaking. So anyway, when you go to cut, just be careful when you go to slowly ease into the cut. And then ease out. As you come near, go ahead and slowly release the trigger. That way it's not just going to be full blast and you're going to skip out like that. Alright, and this is just a really rough cut, because I have a very rough cut blade on here. You can obviously get a finer cut if you get a different blade, but that's how you use a jigsaw. So again, be safe when you're cutting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.